This week on Legends, Gorilla Grodd goes full Kurtz. And you never go full Kurtz. Start being more obsessive. If you're out there, Legends of Tomorrow fans, please start being more obsessive. Look, this review is getting posted this morning instead of late last night because the episodes don't end until 10. And I decided to go and finally look up the name of the new member of the team because I want to know who she is. And I want to get her name right and stop calling her the new girl. However, but they've only said her name once on the show, and it was a time when my reception was wonky. And guess what? I can't find it anywhere. Nope. All of the wikis, every list I can find of a cast, and every cast list seems to only include the season 1 cast. Yeah, I spent about 2 hours looking at it. Even on IMDb, you scroll down, you scroll down, you scroll down, and I couldn't find her. If she was there, I missed her because you have to go through like 7 bajillion names. But most lists just list the little season 1 cast as though they're the only cast. What are they thinking? Somebody please update these wikis. I tried my best. Sorry if this seems badly researched, but I tried. But anyway, so they're actually showing for a change a realistic depiction on TV of what would happen if somebody was knocked over the head hard enough to knock them out. That is, Sarah's in a coma. Stein is trying to figure out how to separate himself from Firestorm while leaving Jax with the powers, leaving Jax to wonder if he can do the job without the Firestorm powers. And Vixen is upset that one of her granddaughters turns into a supervillain water witch who is working with Damien Dark, which can't say I blame her. And so the team picks an event at random. Actually, Jax does, which turns out to be a level 8 event taking place in the jungles of Vietnam. Yeah, you're a man down, and you struggle to deal with a lower level event that took place in a circus. I think you might be over your heads on this one, and indeed they are. Mick really doesn't want to go because, for reasons that will become clear soon. But turns out soldiers on both sides are just going missing in the jungle. And when Ray, Vixen, and the new girl question one soldier who got away, he says that there's some kind of monster in the jungle who's taking people. They then spot a Vietnamese woman who's watching them, who offers to take them to the person that she thinks is stopping the fighting. Meanwhile, Mick and Citizen Steel end up ambushed by a bunch of soldiers in the jungle, and it turns out one of them is Mick's dad, who is packing a flamethrower. So liking roasting things with fire is a hereditary trait? I didn't know that. Can I see the science on that study? Can I scratch it? Can I see the study period? Can I just see what study proved this is a genetic trait? I would love to know how the love of setting things on fire gets passed down as a genetic trait. Now, despite Nick's insistence, good night, we have Nick and Mick, to sharing seeds together in the same episode. This won't get confusing at all. Mick is insistent that this not become a very special episode of Legends of Tomorrow. So it turns out his father is out here hunting down whatever killed a bunch of his men. Fair enough. And well, they pose as CIA agents, and they try to issue orders, but I'm pretty sure the CIA is outside the chain of command for the military. Then again, that does get brought up later, so I'm guessing the writers knew this. But yeah, the Vietnamese woman leads them to a camp, and they're happy to find it because the legends are happy to find it because they need to not only stop this because the anomaly will end up triggering World War III, according to a newspaper headline Gideon finds, because whoever this is going to kill LBJ, but it's also jamming their radio communications, and that's when they see who it is. Gorilla Grodd in full-blown Colonel Kurtz mode. He's determined to bring peace to the Earth by ruling it. And how does he bring peace? By killing a guy who isn't LBJ. No, I'm not even kidding. In an effort to prove that he can do the job on his own, and just because they have no other options, Jax dons an MP uniform. He's also mad at Stein because he would have rather Stein told him that he didn't know the solution rather than Stein kidnapping Sir Isaac Newton. I forget who the third guy was, and I know who he is. I know him from history, but it's slipping my mind at the moment. And Madame Curie. Yeah. That's the great thing about having a time machine and a memory erase switch. If you're ever having trouble just with your math problems, just kidnap 3 brilliant mathematicians and scientists, and they'll help you out there. As far as Newton really doesn't seem fazed by any of this at all, in particular. But anyway, he rushes off and stops the guy who isn't even in the ballpark of looking like LBJ. He's a bad actor, and he doesn't even sound like he's from Texas. It boggles the mind. I don't know how this casting session worked, but there had to be somebody who was closer. Somebody who had, really? They couldn't find anybody closer? I guess this is done on a shoestring budget and such, so I shouldn't complain, but the way he's written, too, just his exclamations and all this throughout, especially as Jax stops him from being assassinated, but it turns out by blocking his Jeep, he caused it to swerve into a minefield, so he then has to lead. He then uses a trick from an episode of MacGyver to save LBJ from a landmine that he stepped on, and leads him out of a minefield. It's actually a pretty great moment for Jax, which is why I'm sorry that my history-obsessed brain couldn't get over the fact that the guy he's leading out isn't anywhere close to acting, sounding, or looking like LBJ. I don't know what they were thinking of here. LBJ wasn't that unique looking a guy, and there has to be an average looking actor from Texas somewhere in doing guest shots somewhere in Hollywood, right? I think. But anyway, but Grodd soon discovers that has all the people under mind control in the camp, and that's why he's kidnapping these people, to put them under their mind control and use them as his army. Also, Mick, after talking to his father, is found by Nick burning himself with a lighter. This is the first time we've seen him doing that since season 1, and it is a bit concerning. Mick now sees himself as the real monster and wonders if he then sees his father as a decent guy for the first time and thinks that he's the monster now, and he really doesn't have much to live for. His father saves his life, but that doesn't really calm Mick down. And what's more, his father starts going a little nuts and starts talking about all the traitors hanging out in his camp when they find it. Nick tries to order him to stand down, but he gets knocked out for his trouble, as Mick's father points out that the CIA doesn't get to give the army orders. Fair point. Then, just before they raid the camp and start frying people with their flame guns, which, yes, Mick is getting to use his flame gun on people again, thank you, Gorilla Grodd takes off because he finds out they have a time machine. These intruders in this camp have a time machine, so yeah, Legends, up to your usual bang-up standard. Woohoo! But anyway, Stein is able to take off the Wave Rider. However, he's in trouble because Grodd has taken over the unconscious Sarah's body and starts attacking it with ninja skills. Meanwhile, some planes that were called in for a napalm drop to kill whatever was taking people hostage or murdering them in the jungle, which again seems a little extreme. But when you consider that the alternative is having World War III start because you have a monster killing off both sides in the middle of this war. Yeah, if the choice is between nuclear war and dropping napalm on some jungle to just catch something and kill it, I never probably say this, but I'm on the side of dropping the napalm over dropping the atomic bombs. But anyway, the ship manages to turn upside down with Grodd banging on the top of it, and he falls, and he looks like he's going to fall into the napalm explosion. However, we find out that Damien Dark has some sort of crystal and a Easter egg sort of thing that allows people to time travel with thought, and he grabs Gorilla Grodd just before he died, and the two strike up an alliance. So yeah, Gorilla Grodd and Damien Dark are working together thanks to our villain. In Dakota, Sarah finally wakes up, and it turns out LBJ did give Jax a reward for saving his life. His wife's pie recipe, which everyone agrees is delicious. Sarah wakes up, and in a great scene stops them from eating all of a pie. Isaac Newton's memory is wiped, and said he doesn't remember any of this, and well, that's it. this is another enjoyable outing with some good character moments for Mick. And it's interesting to see his character, who's mostly just muscle and used for comic relief, get some more character moments. And as always, the cast is stand up and it works. And my only regret is that they won't say the name of their new member. Come on, if you just say it one more, please, just have somebody say her name, call it out in the corridor, anything, so I can hear it again, please. But anyway, but my psychosis, or neuroses, or whatever it is aside, this was a very good episode. I give it 7.5 out of 10. Again, an episode of Legends of Tomorrow manages to wipe the foul taste of an episode of The Flash from my mouth. What is happening here?